Video topic: How to make a girl miss you. I'll make a small caveat. There is no universal, 100% foolproof method. There's no magical button you can press to instantly get her to miss you. That doesn't exist. However, there are fundamental principles that allow you to achieve this and make it happen. And if we talk about one obvious basic recommendation, the woman needs to experience a deficit of you. But why did I decide to bring this up? Because I still run into situations where a guy is clingy, where he's around too much, and then he's surprised. Why isn't she missing me? Let's move on to more practical, specific, and local recommendations. There must be unpredictability. You've had 3 dates, 5, 7, 10. When are you going to see each other next? Who suggests the date? Very often a man, feeling a strong attraction, we will be examining this scenario. Why are the women you're not that interested in so drawn to you? You don't have problems with them. Let's look at the one you are most interested in. There's a woman you really like, but the return from her side leaves much to be desired. And very often, after the meeting, the date, the man says at the end, "So, when are we going to see each other next?" Meaning, he hands over the initiative or asks the question, "So, are you free on Saturday?" That's already predictability. Everything is built on the details. Simply by not setting a date for your next meeting, you can already give her cause for thought and anxiety. Will he ask me out? When? And let her wait. Or maybe she'll take the initiative herself. That will also play into our hands overall. Next recommendation. If we're talking about strong emotional experiences, men often try to make surprises, give flowers, or some kind of gift. If you give a lot of positive emotions, a strong emotion, you must pull back afterward. Understand, this is a game played on a razor's edge. It's very easy to start tanking the balance of significance power simply from the desire to give a strong emotion, when she's just bored with you and not interested. When she starts to perceive these actions not as something impressive and highly anticipated, but rather as your neediness. So, make it a rule. For whatever reason, you decided to, you felt like it, you gave her flowers or anything else. Let's take the basic example of flowers. Pull back that day and the next day. And this will plant many thoughts in her mind. What's going on? First, she was happy, thinking, "Oh, he's hooked, he likes me, he really likes me." And then, a deficit of attention, and many questions arise for her. The next most common mistake, and everything I'm mentioning is the most typical mistakes. This is the situation where a man adjusts his schedule to see her. She doesn't adjust, but the man does. This is a critical mistake. Where does it all start? Let's say you see each other 3 times a week, consistently. Everything is mutual. Everything is good. But suddenly she says, "Listen, we usually meet on Wednesday evening, but I simply can't make it." And let's say it's true. And suddenly the man starts adjusting. "What about later? What if I swing by? How about Thursday? I won't go out with the guys." That, right there, is the first step into the abyss. In reality, you don't understand this. That is, you see, mutual interest. Everything is good. She's happy to see me. I want to see her more often too. And now you start digging your own grave. You're already tanking the balance of significance power. I hope that at least with these primitive examples, everyone can evaluate their own behavior. Next, you shouldn't immediately let the woman know that you are considering her for a serious long-term commitment. Don't do that. She should lead you to that. She should. That is not your objective. By the way, if we're talking about strong emotions in the form of flowers or some souvenirs, many people think, well, I gave them to her, so until this bouquet wilts, she'll be thinking about me. There is some truth to that. But again, this only works under the condition that you pull back after giving those strong emotions. There was one real-life case, maybe more than one, where there was a very nasty scheme. Every week, or even a little more often, like every 5 or 6 days, he would give her a bouquet of flowers, so the woman constantly had flowers at home. The question is, why is it that when you do this, she'll blow you off? Simply because the question is, how did he behave in all other situations? There, the balance of initiative distribution was on his side, and in such a situation, this bouquet, he spends the money, well, he wants to, so what? Many say, why would I? That's everyone's business. But in this case, it was a plus, because in case they suddenly had a fight or actually broke up, she would experience a certain dissonance, as she was used to this charm, the flowers at home. The same action serves as an effective medicine, a stimulant in one case, and has a detrimental effect in the other. That is, your task is to give a lot of emotions, but the emotions must definitely be diverse. What are the two most common mistakes men make? Mistake number 1, only giving positive emotions. The most common situation, just good, just mutual, only steps forward. A direct path to tanking the balance of significance power, either immediately or a little later. And even if a relationship does start, it's quite likely you'll be in a less than comfortable position in that relationship. Again, you will obviously be the weaker party. And option 2, when the man gives practically no emotions at all. What situation is this? This is when a man read articles online saying that you shouldn't be clingy. He neither gives positive vibes nor any other emotions, or just nothing at all. Which is worse? It's hard to say. But your objective is different. Your task is possibly to give positive vibes. Your task is to be, as I said, unpredictable. Your task, if a conflict happens, and it will come sooner or later, because the struggle for dominance in a relationship will happen regardless, you must be ready for it. You shouldn't be flying off into sugary fantasies right now. The struggle for dominance in a relationship will happen. A woman doesn't just settle for a weak position, and who the leader is will only be determined in a conflict. Often this happens. If it seems mutual at first, after 2 or 3 weeks a leader has emerged. During a conflict, who will concede? And other emotions are needed too. Can you provoke jealousy? Yes, you can. And why not? How do you do that? It's elementary. You can, for example, casually mention that your ex texted you, apparently wanting to get back together, but you're not interested. And then change the subject. Do you think she'll switch to another topic too? No. That evening, she will be thinking about your ex. When you get home and for some reason go to bed earlier or, conversely, stay online late, she'll start guessing, maybe they're texting? What's her name? I'll figure her out from his likes right now. Maybe this person or that one is among his friends? Can you imagine how many reasons for reflection you've already given her with this completely trivial thing? You can't even call it manipulation. Well, let's call it that. She already wants to fight for you. And as an example, in reality, there are very, very many such details in the process of interacting, communicating with a woman. It is a creative process. However, a man makes all these mistakes for one reason, because he's convinced himself that he will simply be loved and simply missed. Why? Because I am a good guy. But they don't love you because you're a good guy. Constant, intense communication with a girl online is a serious mistake. That is, you see each other 2 or 3 times a week and are constantly texting, and become that entertainer. Why do you need that? Let her have time to miss you before the date. You will have new, even more topics to discuss instead of being in contact 24/7. But you think, well, she's texting me and she's texting a lot. I'm going to answer her, we'll talk. You should have been focusing on your own things during that time. Work, hobbies. You should have spent your time on that, and it would have been better. And you can even text first, but be the first to end the conversation, maybe before bed. But then, for example, mentioning that you're going to sleep, that it was a busy day, and you can in fact tell her about it in 3 words. Do you think she's left alone again and missing you? As one option, I want to primarily address not my subscribers, but those watching for the first time. Please think about why you've had women in your life who, no matter what, wanted to be with you. They chased you, bothered you with their attention, texted, and were pushy. You didn't care. Think about that. Remember how you interacted with them, how you behaved with them, how you communicated with them, and you must realize that there was a certain effectiveness in that, even though you weren't trying. And think about the fact that with every woman you like very much, you behave differently. And the most important thing, finally, when we talk about making a girl miss you, we are not considering situations where the woman has already taken the dominant position, when she's already stringing you along. If you are asking this question, that won't make her miss you. That means you need to enact a dominance inversion. This is a prolonged process. It takes weeks, and most often months. And most often, if she's already stringing you along, knocking on a closed door at this stage is ineffective. When we talk about making her miss you, we are still talking about a situation of mutual interest. And here, it works. So, to wrap up, remember, making a girl miss you is a secondary effect. Your personal value is primary. Don't try to be her entertainer or adjust your life. Instead, invest energy in your own growth, goals, and hobbies. It is your busyness and self sufficiency that create that natural, healthy deficit which awakens desire and respect, not neediness. When you yourself are the prize that is missed, you lay the foundation for a strong relationship where you are valued not for your availability, but for the rich life that she wants to be a part of. This is the main secret. Be the one she wants to miss.